Hey internets, we're back. It's Monday. It's time for D&D and we are so excited to bring you, well, D&D. I am Scott, also known as Wiley Hobbit. Welcome to our channel and our community. So glad to have you here. Thanks for joining us. We're going to play some 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. This game is called Mysteries in the Dalelands, which is interesting because we're actually not precisely in the Dalelands, but we'll get to that in a moment. Just want to
Mysteries in Mystara.
Mysteries in Mystara, yes. Maybe we need to rename that Mysteries of the Grindel Root. Maybe we need to take a surrogate name for a while. Yeah. So, quick thank you to our newest channel sponsor, the Horde Collectibles. If you're into gaming stuff, books, especially older print books, older modules, comic books, Funko Pops, and Magic the Gathering stuff, check them out. I'll post a link in chat here in a little bit, but big shout out to those. That's my stepbrother's company over in Illinois. So, and they operate both in person.
Funko Pops?
Funko Pops. They're like little sort of bobblehead sort of dudes. I'll grab one on the break and put it up. I have a invisible. Who is he? He's invisible, so he's clear. Visible Golem, I think.
Right over there.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I'll roll one out.
From Supernatural. And I'm going to get Drist and Guinevere for next week.
Nice. Yeah, they're pretty cool looking. So let's jump around the table and have some intros, shall we? We'll start with our ladies first. Ronvin.
Hey, I'm Vivi or Vivacia. I'm playing Runwin. She is, well, I still call her a baby artificer, even though, we're not really level 1s no more. She's an Azamar, and she was super excited, last time to use her other form first, which, she never did before. So we'll deal with how she feels about that this time. And she got to use her power armor. So
she
right
did.
Now, she is in heaven. She's like, I don't even care where we are and what we're doing. She's having fun.
That's what it's all about. All right, very good. And our other female character, Fragile.
Yeah, I'm Mike, and I play Fragile. I am an Asimar warlock of the Raven Queen, and I'm a little befuddled and very perplexed at a horde of gnome undead pouring forth from the ground. And so, whereas others might be pretty thrilled at the getting to use new powers, I'm more concerned with, are there more of these things, and can we go kill them?
Yeah, because your character, Fragile, is a big fan of the undead. Yeah, you and Calavera both were kind of like, ooh, what's that? So yeah, very good. So Rue, tell us about yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrew playing Rue Shahar, your sneaky merchant rogue slashy dude.
Slashy dude. I like it. All right. How about Gears?
Hey folks, I'm Dave playing Gears, the Warforged fighter, and looking forward to playing some more golf with my glaive and some undead gnomes.
Yeah, you were lopping off some heads, sending them off into the distance. That was pretty cool. And last but certainly not least, Algernon, our diviner.
Hi everybody, I'm Manny, play Algernon Altano, a divination wizard who is really starting to appreciate the finite nature of his resource.
Spell slots don't go forever, do they?
And I keep getting more spells, man. It's going like the ratio is getting just out of whack every week.
So many spells and not enough slots. Yes, sirree.
Exactly.
Yep. I love it. I mean, yeah, good luck.
I do too. It's awesome.
Awesome. And I'm Wiley Hobbit. I will be playing all the NPCs and the monsters if we have such things and so forth and whatnot. So last week, the party set out in search of Ion the Veyor, a Rakshasa who owns a curio stand in the under the Ever Shady Bazaar. And all they know is he's a big tiger man with fancy clothes. Rakshasa had been confirmed. And his stand has kind of an onion kind of dome shaped top on it, that's easily conspicuous in the bazaar. And unfortunately for the party, as much time as they spent combing the alleyways and the nooks and crannies of the bazaar, they were unable to locate the Ion's mystical curios. But they did have an interesting encounter with a pair of tabaxi. Thought that was kind of interesting. And then they made their way back out of the bazaar and had an audience with Balon the Beardless, who is, by all intents and purposes, sort of the town elder. He's one of the originals to Deep Delvers Enclave. He was one of the first adventurers in the Enclave to explore Shadow Reach after unsealing the cavern that had been sealed for, well over a century. It had been a long time. And they kind of went to see Balon at the suggestion of a couple of different residents to see if they could figure out how to find this Ion of Vair, because they have some business with him. They have a special dagger they were sent to bring back to this world. We are on Mystara. We are no longer on Toril. The game is set in Forgotten Realms, but we're on a little bit of a road trip at the moment. So the interesting thing about last session, we spent probably, about the last hour doing some combat as a group of gnome zombies collapsed a giant sinkhole in the middle of this, what's this little sort of adventuring settlement called Deep Delvers Enclave. And they issued forth in great numbers and tried to overwhelm the Enclave, but they were beaten back by adventurers and mercenaries, and of course by our brave, courageous party members. And so it is at that point which we will pick up our game. You are standing out in the cobbled streets of Deep Delvers Enclave in front of the Raven's Claw, kind of between the Raven's Claw, the Lucky Loot, and across the street, the Dragon's Fangs. And Balon comes up to you all. Is everyone all right? And there are corpses of zombies and parts of zombies and heads of zombies from Gear's wide swing with his glaive. And he wipes the sweat off his brow and he brandishes the old man, and it has some what looks to be bits of hair and skin on the knob where the gnarly dwarf visage is carved at the head of his staff. Is everyone okay?
Physically, I'm a little disturbed.
Yeah, I look over for Jill to see what her mental state is.
You got like erupting pustules of undead coming up out of your ground.
This is a first for us. Never seen such a thing. And gnomes, no less. This is very disturbing.
Well, I'm glad it's the first.
You said that these pins indicate they're from Violet Falls? What is that place?
Oh, yes. And he kind of holds and kind of flips one of these pins over. Violet Falls is a settlement of gnomes, an old settlement. Goes back hundreds of years. The strange thing about this is that settlement was lost when the Grendel root erupted through the mountain. The tunnels and everything that led to Violet Falls were all collapsed, and we've not had contact with those gnomes since before Deep Delvers Enclave was a thing. So to see gnome zombies wearing these pins is shocking. It's very unsettling. It was a settlement of rock gnomes. It's gotta be 2 days travel if there's a way to get there. Violet Falls, probably 2 days away, according to the stories. And you can see and hear general hustle and bustle as the residents of the Enclave are busy, cleaning up corpses and looking all into the sinkhole. And, you can see some of them looking at the pins, and many of them recognize that as the sigil of Violet Falls.
I want to go check out like the sinkhole. Was it like, I mean, not a natural occurrence that just there happened to be a horde of not, gnome zombies underneath a place where the earth randomly collapsed, but is there like a tunnel dug? Does it look like it goes anywhere that we can see?
There is a dark tunnel that vanishes into the darkness downward. If you stand at one edge, and it's probably a good 25, 30-ish foot circumference sinkhole. And it does indeed at the center. The tunnel goes off underground. You can clearly see that there's a tunnel there.
And I see anything down it. And as I'm walking over, I'm going to walk over with Al.
Yep.
People will probably see the bracelet on my hand momentarily glow. And anybody that is near me would probably see some of the cuts and scrapes I got during the battle from the hit I took from the gnome start to disappear.
Okay. Roll. Anybody looking down into the sinkhole? I'm assuming you're kind of trying to see what's down there. Roll me a perception, please.
Well, they're doing that. Run when it's like still like.
I got a nat 20 for a 22 total.
It's like, did you see that I had wings? Where'd you go?
Oh, there we go.
Was
That'd be a
that-
3.
A 3?
I thought that was.
Yeah.
I thought that was from your armor.
No. No. I mean, that's a cool idea, but no. I mean, I dreamt of having wings before and like weird eyes, but no. That was cool though.
Huh? That's definitely strange.
Al, with your 22, 23, you can, and you do not have dark vision, correct?
I don't have it currently cast, no.
Okay. You can see, the usual dim, there are people kind of with torches, and there's definitely a tunnel that goes, kind of to the north and kind of disappears. It's hard to tell if it's darkness or it turned. And Fragile, obviously, with...
How deep is the sinkhole?
It's probably a good 15 feet deep. It's hard telling because there's so much rubble and so forth. Okay. You can't really see a solid floor. You'd have to like climb down in there, and you could easily access the tunnel. It looks to be about a 8-foot high excavated, tunnel.
I also got a natural 20 for a 25, but also no dark vision.
You also do not have dark vision, is that what you said? Or you do have... Okay. Yeah, again, you can see down there, and it gets dark beyond any, dim torchlight. And there's just rock, dust. You can see kind of ichor and slime trails from the zombies, going... Looks like they're going in the direction of the tunnel. Obviously, they came from that way. But there's definitely a bit of a slick on the ground, marking their passage from ooze and pus and yuckiness. Ichor.
Dalelands, do you have someone that can seal that tunnel?
Well, it'll take us some work, but of course we'll have to seal that. But I'm curious where these things came from. I don't know about you. And several people are standing around kind of nodding and yes. And they're all, you can see them all looking at the
I was going to regretfully nod too.
You could see them all looking at the Violet Falls pins and gosh, these gnomes were rumored to be that the village was just lost. There were refugees that escaped, telling tales of great horrors as the Grendel route came through there and collapsed caverns and blocked off tunnels, and they couldn't get back into Violet Falls. They presumed everyone had perished or was sealed in, and they're the ones that named the Grindle root, now that I think about it. There's this great energy in the mountain that draws creative types and monsters and arcane types, and you may have even felt a little clearer creativity or more energy around your thought. Having been here, and the gnomes assumed it was some sort of god. They named it the Grendel. And when these black spires tore through the mountain, they called that the Grendel root. And the name stuck.
Can Runvin just check out the area and around the tunnel and see if she can figure out if this is like something that one of the roots would do, or if you know that's like it has like machine like markings on how the tunnel was made.
Yeah. So you're gonna kind of go down into the sinkhole and look around a little more closely at the tunnel itself. Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
I'm not gonna jump in, but I'm gonna go as close as I can.
Okay.
So you're just say we should tie you off and.
And I got 60 feet of dark vision, so.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead and roll your perception.
What dork? That's a 10.
Okay. You can see down the tunnel a ways, and it goes straight from what you can tell. And if you look at the opening to the tunnel and everything, you'd swear there were like pick marks or shovel. It looks like it's been dug out a bit. Yep.
So it looks like somebody dug on this. Like they would use some pickaxes or some shovels or something.
How close to the opening can we get?
I mean, you can go down in the sinkhole if you want. Said the DM.
You can tie me off and lower me down, and I can check it out. You just gotta make sure you can pull me back out fast. If there's more gnome zombies down there.
Well, they can do that, and I can put light on a rock and chuck a rock down there too. Give it a little more.
Oh, she got dark vision, so she doesn't really matter.
I will go around and look at a few of the gnome zombie bodies. Do they have digging equipment on them?
They do not. They are armed with short swords, I believe it was. Oh no, they were punching. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's all coming back to me. They're just in those. The cloaks are kind of violet colored. They're very tattered and blood-stained and nasty, but they all have the cloaks and the pins. Various bits of what used to pass for clothing. So we're going to lower Ronvin down.
Someone's got rope. I don't.
I have rope.
I got rope too.
And Ronvin, you don't really need to be lowered. It's a sloping gently enough. There's loose rock and so forth, but you could just tell the whole thing's caved in, and you can climb down there if you're. I would say maybe make a dexterity roll to make sure nothing catastrophic happens, because that would be a shame.
Robin doesn't mind. I can go with her. I have 120-foot dark vision.
In 14.
Okay. Yeah. So, you have to pick your way. And, some of the rock is loose and some of it rolls forward or tumbles a bit. But you don't have any trouble getting your way down there. You're careful. Fragile, if you're going down, go ahead and roll a dex as well.
Yeah, my dex would be a 19.
Okay. Good deal. So you both make it down there. Are you taking did you say you were taking a rock with some light on it?
If Ronvin doesn't need it, then I'm not going to. If it's her and I have 120 foot and I can see like normal.
Yeah, and that way, if there's still something down there that we won't alert it.
Right.
So that we're here.
Okay. Yeah. So you crawl down there easily enough, and you start to inspect. Go ahead and roll investigation for me.
It's a 13.
This is so wrong. It's an 8, and I have a +5.
Dun dun dun. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it's easy to tell that the the tunnel that you're in or at the mouth of, and from what you can see, there actually it looks like the sinkhole collapsed into a open space, and from what you can tell, moving some rock around and looking at the mouth of the tunnel, it has definitely been excavated with hand tools of some sort. No doubt about that.
We tell time.
Like how long ago?
Like, yeah, was it something that was a tunnel that was dug and excavated years and years ago as a tunnel that was used for trade or normal trade route or something, or was it something that these creatures maybe or somebody dug for them to get up here?
yeah. So does it look fresh, or does it look like grounded off?
No,
Because
it
after a
definitely
while,
looks
you
it
will.
looks more recent.
So they came here. How did they know how to get here?
Mm,
So that means they had somebody smart with them who pointed the way.
yeah, and these marks look like tool marks, not like they clawed their way. So something had to do the digging for them.
Yep. That, or at least smart, or that could, dominate them and tell them what to do, because they wouldn't be smart enough to do it by themselves. Necromancer?
It's true.
Yeah, I think you all know enough about
No.
zombies that they're not the brightest light bulbs in the package. So it's safe to
Yes.
assume that they probably had
Somebody.
help.
Yeah.
So why would they want to attack deep?
Yeah,
Oh my god!
what is it about this town?
Culver's Deep.
Well, if this is like the town around here, maybe they want them out of the way. Or it was a distraction because they're doing something else somewhere.
Balon yells down, What do you see down there?"
Tool marks.
Pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Really?
Someone definitely made sure that the zombies came out right in this spot.
Hmm.
And somebody would have had told them, or showed them how to dig. And I don't see the tools.
Oh, okay.
So-
Okay. Well, it's no surprise. I mean, these gnomes are, Violet Falls was a mining settlement. They did a lot of crafting and artificing. They made some incredible clockwork items and wonders, mechanical, magical. Uh, but they also
They took their tools back.
they
So
mined
whoever was here, they took their tools with them.
they mined gems. Hmm.
Ooh, shinies.
Fragile was waiting for Ronvin to have a reaction to clockwork, and
Lots of
Yeah,
shinies.
they used to trade quite a lot with others, small settlements and such, in the mountain. Long before Deep Delvers was here, but
that'd be like hitting the mother lode for you there, Ronvin.
It's like, yeah, let's investigate. It's like clockworks and gems. It's all shiny.
Doesn't get any better.
And maybe I get to have some wings again. That was cool.
That would be
I would turn to Balon. Before we got interrupted, we were talking about the potential of a trade agreement.
oh yes, yes.
Our home and yours. And if you could use your influence to really make that a sweet agreement for us, we might be able to go and investigate this.
Oh well.
Violet
Oh,
Falls. You
I
see
was
that we can take care of ourselves.
I was hoping you might be willing to go down there. Honestly, if it's just a matter of working out some trade arrangements, of course, consider it done.
I won't speak for my friends, but I imagine if you could make the deal sweet enough, we could be convinced to do it.
Well, I don't know what you're going to find down there, and it's a couple of days' travel, assuming the tunnels go relatively straight. I would assume they would. They came here with a purpose. I know that there are many things to be found and seen deep within the mountain, as far as gems and treasures and items. You know, this whole mountain was infested with creatures and monsters of all sorts. Different. There was an ancient red dragon who made his abode here before the magocracy of the Black Star was established, which was before the Crusade of the White Sun. So there are, and who knows what all is, deep in the mountains. So whatever you find, of course, is yours to keep. And you're going to an interesting place, indeed.
That would be a bare minimum, I would think. Any adventurer can go off and keep whatever they find.
Well, we would certainly be willing to offer up some things you could take back to Dagger Falls to sell or to collect or show off, however you like to do with it. Certainly, we could do that.
Who around here would be the most historically, arcanely oriented person?
Well, I do know a good bit about the history here myself, being the eldest of the residents of the Enclave. But there are some, if you are looking for more arcane information, you might look to get an audience with Odra Windvane. She runs the library, and he kind of thumbs over his shoulder at that oddly stacked stone building that looks like it's 3 books that are kind of stacked off center from one another. She might be.
Maybe I will.
She might be one of the best. And Jace Goldsmile also knows a fair bit about the mountain and the magics and things.
Al, there's a library.
Yes, I have seen, and Al's going into his little, like, kind of satchel that he carries and grabbing his little vestments from his scholarly order, in preparation of possibly going to the library.
Maybe I'll come with you. Maybe 2 eyes are better than, or 4 eyes are better than 2.
I thought he was going to pull out a library card.
It is very similar. It has the power to take me anywhere. All right, so somebody's at the library, and then
Odra Windvane.
Okay. Yeah, I want to just decide. I would like to go to the library. Al's gonna want to go to the library unless we want to go down the hole and chase this thing now.
Well, I was thinking maybe we could research some arcane stuff, maybe, and maybe we could find a map that if we find some familiar lands or landmark as we're going through the tunnels, it might like lead us to, hey, this is the way we need to go to get to Violet Falls.
Research is my specialty.
I would say one thing also for Geely down in the tunnel that you noticed is those zombies have left a trail of zombie fuzz. I don't know. It's, just ichor, and it won't be hard to follow them, back to whence they came.
So we have an ichor trail.
We do.
Nice. So off to the side when no one's listening, I'm gonna see if Al can, maybe we can take a little bit of a rest and regain some of our powers and finish healing up my hit points, and maybe he could find something in that library about our dagger, since we can't seem to find our tiger guy.
Okay. even a short rest would be unbelievably handy.
I agree.
And you've it's well past noontime. Um, so as far as all of that goes, it's much of the day is already behind you. So setting out now might not be the most ideal thing to do should you decide to do that.
Should we break for lunch? Go back in, have a little lunch, recover, and then set out to read.
Sounds good to me. We wouldn't have any cupcakes left, would we?
Balon, excuse me, upon hearing lunch, kind of rubs his belly. We could eat at the Fangs. I'll see to it. It's on me.
Very well.
Oh, very nice.
Well, I'll tell you what, in celebration of our partnership, we can also share some of the finest pastries from our homeland.
He
Under his breath, under her breath, Virgilia's going to whisper to Ruth, trying to open up more trade agreements, are we?
That's what we're here for.
Yep, that'll do it.
Very well then. Let's
Mine as well, I guess.
let's get to it then. And he kind of turns around and dusts himself off and leans into the staff and he mutters something at the ornately carved staff with again the visage of the old bearded dwarf head on it, and walks back to the Dragon's Fangs.
Go sit down. I want to make sure I sit next to Balon, and obviously, what is the dude magical? Is the staff magical? I want to like size him up like power wise. See if he's a formidable adversary.
Sure.
In a aggressive negotiation here in a minute.
So what skills are you gonna employ to do this?
Like you said, just to decide whether he's magical or the staff is magical, like an Arcana check, do I get it, like not quite detect magic? I don't
Right.
need to go all that, but do I just feel something
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and roll
from
that.
him?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead and roll that. I'll
Well,
allow
this
it.
is 23.
23. Okay. This staff, you saw him out in the combat with the gnome zombies, and you were impressed with his, for an older dwarven, kind of creaky, crickety sort of, been around a while looking kind of guy. He didn't have any problem wielding that rod and dispatching the gnomes, and in fact, it looked to you like, for a gnarled up carved piece of wood, he was kicking some ass with it, like more than you might expect from that particular item. And if you look at it, you can see that there are no dents or any signs of battle or wear and tear on the staff itself. It is beautifully carved and polished, sealed wood. It's hard to tell what type of wood it is. It's not something that looks familiar to you straight away. Very fine.
While that's happening, we're just gonna hustle and run back to our room and grab the wine and the cupcakes and bring them back.
Very nice. Okay. Yeah, and Balon welcomes the party into the Dragon's Fang. He takes you into a kind of a side, almost like a banquet type room, a small banquet room. There's a couple of long tables and Gundar's there. Balon has a few words with him, and Gundor gets busy preparing the meal and vanishes. And you all take a comfortable seat, and it's not long before Gundor brings out some wine, some ale, and Rue, by then I'd say you're probably back with whatever you brought to the Dragon's Fangs.
Um, yeah, I'm going to leave uh, the one of the boxes put away, but I'll break out the other dozen, and I'm just gonna like set them there to the side for now. For after the meal, obviously, we can't have dessert first, but just kind of
That wouldn't
get
be right.
hi, yeah, um, yeah, and then I'll look to bail on this is some fine wine from Dagger Falls.
Ah,
Um, they have mint fields there like you wouldn't believe.
mint, you say? And they
Yes,
make wine
I
from
believe.
it. Never heard of such a thing. Well, I'm not much of a wine person. He's got his stained stoneware coffee mug with steaming hot black coffee that looks like motor oil that's been in a tractor for 62 years. He stirs it and the spoon stays standing up in it, kind of a thickness to it. But he does
This
hold
just
out
might change your mind.
he holds out a pounded metal cup. There's a number of them on the table. Oh, not too much, mind you, but I'll have a good taste. Yes.
Uh, yeah, I imagine. Cat, what are you doing? Al, would you dismiss Stealth out of here? He's being a bit of a pest. um,
I suppose
I
that
imagine, does it come with like does the barrel or whatever come with like a tap? I don't know how
Yeah.
these things work.
Yeah, you'd set it on its side and have the tap pointing down, and it would.
Ah, perfect. Like one of those.
Almost like a
They,
box of wine. Think Riuniti.
okay, yeah. So I will get him some wine.
Okay. Yeah, and he, kind of slurps it around in the cup like he knows what he's doing and takes a big sniff of it. Well, that is different, isn't it? He shoots it back and empties the cup, sets it down, and he kind of slurches it around in his mouth. You can hear him almost like mouthwash. Well, that is different. I like it. I could see that going over very well at the Lucky Loot. Yes. I think Cloud Willisper will be happy to sample some of that. Very nice. And in fact, maybe we need to talk with her and we can see what she has as far as wares and ale and things to maybe take back with you.
Perfect.
And as you all are talking, Gundor comes out and he has a couple of halflings with him, and it's just kind of an odd pairing because it's he's like 7'6" or 7, and then you have these 2 3 foot tall halflings come out, and they just lay the table out very quickly, and you have cold roasted meat, presumably maybe leftover from the past day or two, hard cheeses. There's a couple of stone crockery, crocks full of soft cheeses, breads, both dark and light, some sweetbreads, some fruit, and they, in a twinkling, lay it out and are gone. Please help yourselves.
um,
Yeah, Fragile finds herself hungry, so she's going to partake of a little bit of everything.
so what sort of deal are we looking at, not only for trade but for perhaps investigating this misfortune.
Yes. I think maybe it would be wise to pay you in coin or gems to a certain value. Would that be to your liking? Then perhaps you could take that and go to the bazaar and purchase some things that you could take back and sell or whatever you wish. Would that be to your liking?
I was going to look to the group to see if they have any thoughts on this.
I'm
My
not really
compatriots
the.
don't seem too impressed. What else might you have us offer?
Well, I could certainly offer to pay for your stay while you're in the enclave. For that, the least I can do. Consider that done, as a matter of fact. And he leans over with a quill and some paper and makes a couple of notes, presumably to check in with Mila at the Raven's Claw. Perhaps we might trade some relics or some gemstones. Perhaps there are gems here you aren't maybe customary. I know going to Violet Falls, you're going to see a lot of violet crystalline gems. Their legend has it they're coming out of the walls.
Al again going to look to the group.
Fragilia's like, I'm not really great at trade. I'm more great at doing things and hanging out with people. So if you think that's going to work for the trade agreement, then I trust you and Rue to lead us in that part.
I think that's a reasonable arrangement.
My
Well-
group seems satisfied. That's will work. Is there maybe a good faith down payment that we may receive?
Yes, I will get you some gems to look through from Jace's shop. And why don't we say that each of you will take 50 gold worth of gems apiece now, and then another 100 upon your return. That would be a total of 150 each, he says, rather importantly.
Yeah, Al's gonna be cool with that.
Yeah, I think that's a good start.
And you can use those to trade down in the bazaar, or you can take them with you. Just depends on what you'd like to do. When do you think you might set out?
We believe we are going to research at the library, and then probably head out the tunnels tomorrow. Should we find information at the library to aid us in our quest?
It seems like a reasonable plan. I'll be sure to contact Cloud Willowspur so that your meals at the Loot will be, the cost of that will be taken care of by me. And I'll reach out to Mila as well to make sure that your room and board over there are covered. So please feel free to enjoy yourselves and enjoy all that the Enclave has to offer. It's not a big place, but you'll find it interesting, and many, many colorful characters abound.
Thank you for your hospitality and your generosity in this business negotiation.
Oh, thank you for your help. We do get some adventuring parties through here now and then, but it's been a little quiet, and that last party that just came back, they seemed a little beat up and worse for wear. I don't think they're ready to go brave the mountain anytime soon. What do you have any questions for me before you head to the library? I assume you'll be looking for Odra.
Yes.
We wanted to find that adventuring party just to get their advice and hear some of the experiences that they've had before we venture out there. Do you know where we might find them?
If they're still in the Enclave, probably during the day at the Loot, and in the evening, probably at the Claw. Much like yourselves, but they may be gone. They may have headed back out to the surface.
Al, I think I might do better going around talking to people than sitting in a library.
I agree.
Virgilia's gonna go help Al, and then just basically be his go look for this, go look for that, look for this in a book, find that book, that type of help for him.
Okay.
Take a look. It's in a book.
You know, if you wish, we could all, aside from Al and Miss Virgili here, but Ronvin Gears, of course, welcome to join us. Rue, and he looks at Calavera. We could go across to the Loot and perhaps have an ale. See who's in the bar. Maybe you could share some of your wine with Cloud.
Sounds perfect. Maybe you could share with us the tale of your staff, if I may be so bold. Seems like there's quite a story there.
Gundor. Yes, he's been with me for some 10 seasons now.
No, I was motioning at his staff with the dwarf head on it.
He looks over like it's been looking at him the whole time. The old man, eh? Oh, not much to tell. He keeps me company and has my back in combat. He throws it over to you. It's a solid quarterstaff. Not as heavy, not nearly as heavy as you think it should be, looking at how dense and carved the wood appears to be. And I don't know if are you proficient with such weapons?
Good
I
question.
think it's a simple.
Weapon. I'd have to look.
I believe a quarterstaff is a simple weapon.
Yeah, I think it is because it's one of the few things I could use.
Sure is. Simple melee weapon.
So you can use it.
Would ordinarily weigh 4 to 5 pounds, and this thing feels like easily half of that. It's very stiff. It is very hard. Smooth. Feels like it should be worn, but it's not. You know, like where his hand is, where he, leans on it quite a lot. And if you were to get up and, give it a twirl real quick, incredibly balanced. I mean, this thing is the finest, most comfortable weapon you've ever, staff-wise, quarterstaff that you've ever tinkered with. And it doesn't look like it ought to be. It's got that big knobby dwarf head on the top. What do you think there?
Yeah, I'd definitely be examining the face at the top.
Mm-hmm. It's a gnarled old dwarf. Big nose,
and this
thick beard.
Speaks to you?
Oh, whoa. He kind of shrugs. Looks around at the group. I speak to the old man for sure.
Fair enough.
Does the old man speak back to you?
Not in such a manner of speaking, no, but we understand one another.
Does it seem like he's holding anything else back from us?
Of course he is.
I roll an insight check.
Sure. There's definitely a twinkle in his eye, but it's hard telling. You know how almost reminds you kind of grandfatherly, like he's trying to get you to think he might be pulling your leg, or maybe he actually is, or maybe a pretty young thing just walked behind you. You're not sure what's happening there, but you're not confident you're getting all the answers. Tough to say.
Okay.
Al's gonna look. It would be safe to say Ruse would give a facial expression of not feeling like he's being
Yeah, I'll
told
kind
the
of
truth.
cock an eyebrow at Al.
I'm gonna motion just kind of broadly at him and non-verbally suggest that if we want to, I can make him tell the truth. We have 8 hours of it if we want to.
I'll shake my head.
No, okay.
No. And I'll toss the staff back to him.
Al's like, damn.
Yeah, Virgilia wants to roll perception to see if she sees what's going on between Rue and Al.
Okay.
That's a 13.
Al, what was your... I guess you could roll like a deception if you're trying to be kind of sly with Rue.
I was not really trying to hide it.
Yeah, like I said, just I assume that everybody has seen me make people do things, so like it's just a kind of broad suggestion. Balon's gonna not know what I can do,
right?
And everybody else is gonna have an idea. So I just assume that just kind of a broad gesture and a big look around the table to see if anybody seems interested.
Yeah, I'd say
Julie will do a little.
Okay.
I'd say you definitely picked up on that for Julie. Yeah.
Okay. All right, then Al's going to stop gesturing and just kind of go back to sitting there. He's going to be upset, though.
So, to the loot it is, then, for ales. And he drains his coffee. Sets it down.
Find any shiny on the gnomes anyways? We never asked, did we?
We searched the bodies.
Did we? I didn't remember that.
Yeah, there was no coin or anything. You know, you saw that they had the cloaks and the pins.
You would think there would have been at least a gold tooth.
Did anyone take a cloak or a pin or anything? Or
I was gonna say I probably would have taken a pin.
Julie definitely would have taken a pin.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, against the generally known common sense of dungeoneering, we'll go ahead and split the party.
Right. Right.
Of course, you're not really.
The library's dangerous.
Yes, and so is the bar. Yeah. So, Ronvin or Gears, will you be joining Rue and Balon at the Lucky Loot?
Yes.
Well, Ronwin would probably rather go to the library and see if there would be any books on artificing, or because she still wants to see if she can make Penny Swoops fly, and she probably also wants to see why she had wings.
All right. So the Gears, Rue, and Balon depart for the Lucky Loot. And then the three of you, Ronvin, Fragile, and Al, head over to the library.
You know what? I will, as we're passing through the square or whatever, I'm also going to grab a cloak from one of the zombies too.
Okay. Yeah, note it.
They don't need it.
Okay. So you all enter the Lucky Loot, and it is not nearly jamming like it was the previous evening. there's a group of people in there talking, kind of everybody's relaying their story, what they saw with the zombies and all of that cool stuff. But there beyond that, it's just another day, and you see Cloud and Bert Willow Spur working, and Cloud spots you and they wave at you as Bert heads back into the back somewhere. He didn't really see you enter, but they did, and they waved.
I'll wait back.
She kind of motions you all as a group, and Balon kind of raises his staff, and she rolls her eyes, and she starts pouring ales. Good to see you. Welcome back. What can I get for you this afternoon or this evening? It's getting in, dinner time, because you had a kind of a mid to late afternoon lunch.
Well, I thought we would see what we could offer you for a drink, and I'll kind of hoist up the tankard of wine. Some of the wine from our hometown, so to speak.
Well, it's not customary to bring wine into a tavern, but since you're from far away, and she kind of gets a smirk and quickly produces some goblets and sets them down on the bar. What sort of wine is it? Her eyes sparkle.
This is made from the mint fields of Dagger Falls. It's a lovely mint wine.
She looks at Balon, and he nods and smiles. And she you could see her sort of searching her memory banks for Dagger Falls or mint fields. And she's, I'm not familiar with this place.
It's from Toril.
Toril. And she looks at Balon, and his eyes kind of widen. Well, you are from quite a distance, aren't you?
We are indeed. I'll kind of lean closer to Cloud and say, if you thought mushroom wine was surprisingly good, mint wine will knock your socks off.
She grins and pours some from the spigot into her goblet, into her cup, and takes a good deep inhale and closes her eyes. And she swirls it, looks at it, very clearly knows what she's doing versus what you saw Balon do to abuse his cup of wine. And then she takes a mouthful, sets the goblet down, closes her eyes, and a smile slowly forms. Corners of her mouth kind of curl up. And you can see she hasn't swallowed it. She's kind of holding it in her mouth, getting the whole... Then she swallows it, takes a deep breath with her mouth open. Oh, that is wonderful. That is wonderful indeed. I have to thank you for sharing that. That is outstanding. Goodness.
Tell you what, you distribute this to your customers as you see fit. Sell it if you'd like, as long as you tell them where it came from.
Oh, well, I'm moved. Thank you. What? I'd like to return the favor, of course. Is there anything you fancy?
Well, if you would like to send a cask of your mushroom, was it ale?
Mushroom wine.
Was it ale or wine?
It was wine.
Of your mushroom wine back with
and
us.
they do have a couple of brews
of back there.
They do have a couple of brews of mushroom ale. They have a particularly strong stout that Balon recommends that come from the mushrooms here that he suggests she send. It's like a cream stout, mushroom cream stout. Yeah. Very well. Thank you. Of course. And she yells back, Bert, grab a cask of the mushroom wine and the cream stout, please, and bring it to the bar. And they kind of close the doors, and they come back to the bar, and they pour themselves another little goblet. Oh, this is lovely. And she raises her goblet
Excellent.
to wine or ale, and she looks at Balon, and he kind of rolls his eyes. So, will you be joining us here up at the bar? Or would you like a table? Table might be more comfortable, like a
That's the
booth.
table for tonight.
Very well. And she nods, and there's a nice booth in the corner where the three of you could sit comfortably. Yeah, this place is like less than half full. It's, happy hour, but there's just not, last night you came in and it was packed to the rafters. It was the Feast of the Returned, so it was bumping. All right, so the three of you, Gears, Rue, and Balon, retreat to your corner, and now let's cut scene to the library. So are you, Al, Ronvin, and Fragile going to head straight away, just head right over to the library? I think you might be muted there, Al.
Are we gonna get this?
Yeah, I figure when everybody gets to go to the bar, that's where we would split. We would go to the library once we were all outside. All right, as we walk, before we get there, to Ronvin and Fragile, Al's going to say, ladies, I know that I do not always do what appears to be right or get there in the correct way, but this does not warrant delay or being honest, if you will. We need to figure out what is going on, and I will do what I have to make it happen.
Tell me he does the finger guns in character.
Finger bang, boom. It's more disarming that way. It's not sinister. Finger guns.
Magic missile hands.
Yeah, they're tired. And then walk to the library. Is this like a magical library where wizards store things, or is this like just a repository of books in like the Enclave?
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It makes total and complete sense. So you enter the library, and there are books stacked everywhere. They are, let me get my page here, bear with me. Yeah, so as you walk through, there's these huge stacks, and dust, the paths are kind of dusty, the books are a little bit dusty. Some of the piles, the stacks of books are over 12 feet high. They're not particularly well organized. Like some of the stacks look like they might topple over at any moment. And in fact, there's a winding staircase that, it's at one end of the ground floor, but it probably comes right up the middle of the other two floors because, again, the stacked stone rooms or levels were not stacked one atop the other directly. And even that winding staircase has books stacked upon it.
Does it look? Is it like a kind of self-serve thing? Does it look like there's somebody there to kind of help us?
You don't see anyone.
Somebody I can ask for.
There's a counter like you would assume there would be in a library, and there are some tables. There are some shelves in addition to the stacks, and it's kind of it's not quite hoarders, but it's a little bit close corners. Doesn't appear to be any order to anything. There are some scrolls in tubes, some documents unfurled on some of the tables, and you get to the counter and there are stacks of books, and there's just kind of between the stacks of books, there looks like a place where people could talk to one another if someone were on the other side of the counter, but you don't hear or see anyone back in there. And there's a desk back behind the counter, and there are more stacks of books, and there's a lot of books. There look to be maybe some large rolled up parchments in large tubes laying on a table in the back, and it's just, and some of this stuff looks like it's pretty darn old. Your library radar is going like, yeah, I'm home.
There's nobody that appears to be working there, or nobody like in the same situation that we are, kind of browsing.
No, in fact, there's no one in there, at least not on this floor, browsing. Or working, for that matter.
I'm going to knock over like a stack of books and see if the commotion like draws anybody.
Yeah. Roll perception.
Going to be tiny. That's not good. 13.
Okay. As the you go over here to kind of knock some of the books off, and I'm assuming you're not going to knock over like a 12-foot tall stack of books, are you? Are you?
No, I'm gonna be nice the first time.
Okay. Yeah.
Originally, I had it in my head, yes, and I was like, no, it's kind of.
You think you hear singing or humming in a higher pitched, presumably female voice. And then the books clatter, dust, and silence. And then quickly down the stairs comes a white-robed figure. Let me reveal her to you. She'll be on stream in just a second. I will also deposit her into our Discord channel, presuming that I drop her into the correct Discord channel. Probably can't
Julie's going to
see her on stream yet, but
chuckle, shake her head, and kind of irreverently grab a seat on the closest table or chair or whatever is available and wait for
the
conversation between Al and this lady to erupt.
So the her image is in the Discord, and she's also on the Twitch stream. She comes cascading down the steps very quickly, very quietly, with a big grin on her face. Oh, hello! Welcome! Mind yourself there. Careful, the books.
Yes, I am terribly sorry. I accidentally knocked these over, and I'm actually gonna go to pick them back up. Kind of awestruck here, so I probably should pick those up. That wasn't cool.
Yes, well, welcome. I am Odra. Welcome to the library. It's a bit untidy, but if there's something in particular you wish to learn about, or perhaps deposit, I'm always looking for information. It's my life's work. Yes. For Julie, you sat on a book. When you sat, you didn't see it on the chair. Yet there it was.
Oh
no. Yes. I am Algernon Altano of the Arcane Academy of Chult in service to Prince Ukawu. These is Fragili, and this is Ranvin. We come seeking knowledge of various subjects.
Well, yes. Odra Windvane of the Library of Deep Delvers Enclave. Yes. I guess that's my title then. Chult, you say? Where is this Chult? And in the service of a prince.
A merchant prince specializing in arcane items in a foreign land.
It must be quite foreign. I've never heard of a Chult. Where is it exactly?
It is very far to the south and the west of here.
You can see her searching her. Well, you must tell me more. So what? Well, welcome to our library. And she smiles at Ranvin and Fragili as well. Welcome. Make yourselves comfortable. What is it you seek?
My associates here have a few things that they would inquire about, but we are here on behalf of Balon to investigate the misfortune out
Ah.
in the street a little bit ago.
The zombies. Yes, that was disturbing. Yes, I saw it from upstairs. Very disturbing indeed. So where are they from? They were little people too. Were they gnomes or something? From
yes,
what I could tell.
We were told that they were possibly from a settlement that once existed nearby here, Violet Falls.
Her eyes get the size of dinner plates. Violet Falls, you say?
I
That's not.
assume you have heard of it.
That can't be possible. Violet Falls is known to be collapsed, caved in, destroyed. How would they have gotten here? All trails and tunnels to Violet Falls were lost when the Grendel route came. That is how. Why? What makes you think they're from Violet Falls?
I'll
They
pull
had
out
the,
the,
I mean, you know, not all gnomes are from Violet Falls. You know that, right?
Fragile will hold up the pin that she pulled off of him.
May I?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that would certainly give one the impression that they're from Violet Falls indeed. She kind of flips it in the air like it's a big coin and looks at it and pulls some little spectacles out, looks at it closely. My heavens, what an artifact this is. The Violet Falls was supposedly destroyed some 200 and some years ago when the Grendel route came. This is quite a find. And you say these little monster people had them with them.
Yeah. They were all wearing them.
Are you all right, dear?
Yeah, just saliva, wrong tube. You know, it happens to the best of
Yes,
us
yes, it does. Yes,
at inopportune times.
most inopportune. I see. Are there more of these? Where perhaps I might procure one.
I don't know. I think there were a few left out on the street if they haven't been plundered yet.
Oh, we must get one. Oh, could I possibly implore one of you to maybe just go here? I could give you. And she starts like, oh, just a moment. She scurries behind the counter. You hear drawers.
Mine back. I'll go see if I can get you one.
You hear drawers opening and closing, and she comes back with a small stack of gold, like 5-6 gold coins of some sort, nothing you've ever seen before. Here, just for the hassle, I would do it myself, but of course we have guests, and I hate to leave the library unattended. I don't see you as a servant or anything like that. Please don't take it that way, but if you could perhaps go get me one of those, and she hands you yours back, that would be quite a find.
I'll take care of that, and I'll let Master Al here talk to you about what he's looking for.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, dear. She smiles. It's hard telling how far-aged she is. Her eyes would tell you she's been around a while, but her features would tell another tale. So, Algernon. She takes her specs off. What is it you'd like to learn about?
My friend Ranvin is looking into clockwork items, the city of Violet Falls, and something called a Seraphina. If you could point her
Oh,
in the direction of those subjects.
I see. Yes, yes.
Lovely and most helpful. I appreciate.
Violet Falls. She's looking for clockwork items and things of artificer nature. That would be the best place to go that I'm aware of in Black Claw Mountain. Are you going there?
We need to see what's happened to these settlements, how to get there, and if these things really are from there.
Yes. Well, well, there wasn't an enclave when the Grendel route came. We've only been here, say, 90 years or so. The Grendel route goes back about 220 years, and Violet Falls goes back many hundreds of years beyond that. But the way to Violet Falls is long lost from the coming of the Grendel route. So that's spectacular that these gnomes may be from Violet, or what are those things? They aren't gnomes, certainly.
What you're saying is this is essentially a lost civilization.
Yes, the settlement has been long gone. It was destroyed. There were a number of refugees who came from Violet Falls who described the destruction and the death and the tunnels collapsing, and they escaped with their lives. Now, of course, again, this was many years before the Enclave, but it's a matter of record. And so you think that these creatures were from, well, I suppose if they had these pins, all the gnomes of Violet Falls wore them, according to legend.
Yes, we are here to find out. We are not from this land, and we have been brought into the employ of Lord Balon to investigate. We are also here on our own personal business, in search of Ion.
Oh, Ion of Vare. Yes, yes. You'll find him an interesting one. Yes, indeed. And she kind of smiles.
So
Interesting indeed. I think we'll have much to discuss. I can find there are some records, some books describing what is known of Violet Falls, if that helps.
Yes, any bits of information, and if the library has a more of a restricted section, let us just agree that two scholars such as ourselves should be free in sharing information so that it may help the greater good.
Okay, let's stay on the table for the love of God.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I rolled it off the table 4 times. She kind of, strokes the side of her face and looks up inside of herself. Yes, your sentiment is not lost on me. But first, let's take care of sweet Ronvin here. Al tells me you're looking for information and lore or knowledge on artificing and clockwork items and also about Violet Falls. Is that correct?
Yes, I am an artificer. I love clockworks, and she's kind of like points at Penny Swoops. And
Look
this
at that.
is Miss Penny Swoops. And
May
she
I?
also,
She reaches out. May I?
and she kind of like just
She puts a finger out as you would if a bird were to pop onto it, and she looks at it with eyes of absolute wonder. Did you craft this yourself?
yes, ma'am.
This is...
And I'm trying to make Penny Swoops even better. Right now, all she can do is sit and keep her balance, but I want her to fly and maybe even sing or talk.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Okay, here's your sweet bird. Come this way. Al, you just wait right there. I'm sure Miss Fragile will be back with my pin. Yes, let's go. And she pulls Ronvin up the whirly stairs, the winding staircase. It's a kind of a metallic. And Ronvin, she takes you deep into a part of the second level, and she pulls down a couple of dusty tomes. They appear to be written in common. They have like gears and things on the tooled leather cover, and she sets them in front of you. That just should keep you quite interested.
Also, I know that might sound weird, but there's something I dreamed about. Do you know of something or somebody called Serafina?
I don't know a lot, but I've heard of it. Yes.
Yeah?
Serafina. Is that a? How do you? Is that a person? A thing?
I'm not quite sure. It's just something I heard, and I was gonna look into it. It might be related to wings.
Let me think on that a bit. Wings, you say? Are they mere mechanical wings, or are they more of an arcane?
More arcane, shiny, lights, bright. I'm sorry that I don't know that much, but that's all I got.
That one I might need some time with.
I would appreciate that very much.
Yes, well, you lose yourself in these tomes here for now, and we'll see what we can find for you on these wings. And before you even have a chance to say anything, she's in a swirl of this beautiful opalescent white material. She is gone and back down the stairs. So then, did you have any luck with the pins, Miss Fragile?
Did I?
Oh yeah, no problem.
Okay. Absolutely.
She takes it. She's just.
How many was I able to find?
There were a number of them, on the bodies. There was a lot of zombies that came up out of that pit.
Okay, well, I'll say that I grabbed 3 and pocketed a second one myself, and
Okay.
I'm going to give her 2.
Okay. Oh, this is outstanding. Thank you. So, how may I help you too? Al here seems to want some information. He seems a little sneaky. I kind of like that. So what is it you're looking for? She kind of smiles.
Ow. Ow.
She said, well, I said, do you want me to be sneaky or just blurt it out?
She goes to the door and closes it, and you hear a snap of a couple of deadbolts.
Oh.
Let's speak freely. I'm intrigued, to say the least. You come from a land I've never heard of, bearing these pins, these markers of a day long gone by from a place long lost. Oh yes, you have my attention.
Well, I am looking into the history of a dagger that we encountered in our world.
A dagger, you say?
A dagger, yes. Clearly something of power and evil intent.
Oh.
And rumor was it was linked to your world.
So you're not of this world, then. Chult is indeed far away, isn't it? She kind of smirks over at Al.
Oh.
Yes, well, I mean, what other reason would you have?
Get it till now.
What other reasons would you have for being here?
Al's going to give Fragile a look and kind of point to where the dagger would be in his bag. Basically kind of seeing if I should pull it out and show it to her.
And I'm going to try as subtly as I can to shake my head no at first.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell her that we are trying to find a way to return it. Has been put in a place for safekeeping, and it was causing people too near it to become violent
Oh,
and crazy.
that sounds awful.
And through the guidance of my mistress, the Raven Queen, we were led to believe that it somehow needs to be returned to somewhere on this interesting world of yours.
Oh, Mystara, yes. So why is it that you chose the Enclave?
Um, it was just where my deity guided us. We don't always get perfect answers. We just kind of got a little
Of course.
kick in the pants and said, "Hey, go in this direction."
Well, that's the shortcomings of divine magic, of course. She kind of looks over at Al and smiles. It's just something you have to get used to, I suppose, if you're into such things, I guess. Hopefully she's pointed you in the right direction, and at least, I mean, I'm certainly glad you're here. But did you mean to bring it to the Enclave specifically, or just anywhere to dispose of it on Mystara?
Well, that's what we're trying to find out. I'm trying to see if we can find any histories in your library of um, any such creations.
I see. Well, there are so many things that have come from the depths of this mountain. This is such a mysterious, strange place. There's so many things yet to have been explored, so many miles and miles of tunnels, and certainly an item of that nature could have easily come from the depths of Blackclaw Mountain. Just, I mean, without having seen the item, of course, but she kind of looks over at Al. Yes, I suppose such a thing could come from here.
So you say it would come from the depths?
Well, this mountain is big and old and ancient, and there's been a mystery here for millennia. This great, some describe it as magic, some
Did you just
of the
say millennia?
millennia. Yes, some of the more foolish see it as a divine being. Perhaps foolish is an unkind word, but the more, let's say, some of the more trusting souls see it that way. A person like myself, I prefer to determine the nature of things and understand clearly precisely what things are. But Blackclaw has been here for ages, but long ago, over 1,000,000 years ago. The story goes that something not of this world crashed upon Mystara and threw up the slopes of Blackclaw Mountain, and she gives a little flourish, and buried itself deep, deep, deep within the earth. And it is that, whatever it was that came from beyond our heavens, it is that which I believe draws people here, that gives them strange visions sometimes, or inspired creativity, or greater arcana understanding, or and perhaps for someone like you, a closer presence of one's deity and beliefs. Yes, this is a rich, unique place you find yourselves in.
So Fragility would like to do two things. One, I guess they'd both be insight checks. I want to see if I think she's just blowing smoke up my rear and diverting me from something. Basically, she really know nothing, which is what she's kind of telling me, is that, yep, it's probably from here somewhere. Or is there probably some knowledge that she has that she's holding back? And the other thing is I wanted to kind of do an insight check on myself and see if I feel a perception, a closer connection with the Raven Queen.
Mm-hmm. Have you prayed since you've arrived? Because we haven't really RP'd that or anything.
I would have prayed before I went to sleep at the Ravenclaw Inn. Is that where we were sleeping?
Yes.
Yeah, I would have prayed before I went to sleep and offered. I believe I grabbed something off of one of the creatures that we killed when we first got here, and I would have offered up that memory to
Right. I
the
remember
Raven
that.
Queen.
Yep. You did. Okay. Yeah, roll that insight.
Oh, those are nice. I have a. Oh, I gotta move your in my way. There we go. Insight, just straight up. So I have a 17 for my insight on her, and a 19 for my insight or perception on my own praying about my goddess.
Okay. Yeah, the big thing you've probably noticed is you just feel you haven't gotten any direct messaging or anything from the Raven Queen, but you definitely feel like it's easier to feel close with her. Like when you go through your rituals and prayers, you kind of, to be a little vulgar about it, you kind of tune in more quickly and clearly. You know, the signal, the divine presence hits you very quickly
Awesome.
here. Yeah.
So now how are you going to get me to leave later on, DM?
Never. Well, yeah, so that's just a brief, she kind of rolls her eyes, but rather pedestrian explanation of Black Claw, and the no one really knows for sure, but I suspect that something collided here and a remnant was left. I don't know what or whom. And she kind of looks. What was left or whom was left deep into the roots of this mountain, but this mountain has quite a history of events over the years. So yes, relics and items of all sorts have been found, and it's my belief that barely a beginning has been made in finding and exploring. So I'm interested to know if you plan on going out there.
Do you have any relics?
I have some items of my own. The best relics I've seen that have come from within Black Claw, beneath Shadow Reach, in and around Shadow Reach, out in the tunnels. One such item hangs above the doorway to the Dragon's Fangs. Not sure if you noticed the carapace of the boulette that Balon slew. That was taken deep in the tunnels. There are many, many, many strange and unique creatures. The best place for relics from the ruins of the Grindle Root are Jace's stand and Ion the Veyor, which, of course, you mentioned earlier that you've come looking for him, and that's a good idea. I'm curious, though, how did you know, out of all of Mystara, to come here looking for him for this purpose?
Well, we didn't know about Ion when we got here. Like I said, Raven Queen just gave us a boot out the door. And when we got here, I don't remember who mentioned the name. Do you, Al?
I don't.
Roll me deception for Julie.
Well, now that I can do. +4, that's a 21.
She gets up for a moment. If you will excuse me, does anyone need a beverage? I think some tea might be lovely, don't you?
I would love some tea.
Very well. And you, Miss Fragile?
Sure.
Or
As
coffee
long as it's
or
not mint tea, yeah.
some wine? Anything? I have various things.
Tea would be fabulous.
Very well. And you hear her clattering around and so forth for a few minutes, and then she returns. So it just needs the water needs to boil. But she brings back with her tea service. She has these little, like, metal fashioned little. It's like a little globe with a little chain, and in it you can see that she's got some tea leaves all crushed. It's a very nice herbal berry. It may make you a little sleepy. It's not a sedative, but it's definitely very relaxing. So, at any rate, and she kind of looks at you and realizes, I don't mean to say I wish to put you to sleep. Please don't be on your guard. It's a tea that I enjoy daily about this time, and it's just relaxing.
+4 to a con save just in case.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reluctantly sip this tea. Me and Al are just having the hardest time with this. And literally,
It has
when I've met something that's even close to my match.
And you see her kind of fastidiously preparing this. She has a little thing of cream. She's got some little, they look like little maybe shortbreads or something, little cookies. And she fusses about how long the tea has to steep. And all this while, she's not really talking with you. She's paying very close attention to what she's doing with the tea. And she gets everything arranged. There. Now, I like mine with a little bit of cream. And so she puts some cream in hers.
Just sugar for me, please.
Okay.
Blasphemy, but I'm not there.
Perhaps we could send Ronvin a cup in her studies.
Oh, I'll see to it that happens. And she prepares a fourth cup, and the bouquet you get is that pleasant bergamot of Earl Grey, but there's a fruitness that's almost a tropical fruitness, like a mango or some kind of maybe a banana, something in there that's like from the islands, and it's pleasant. And then the sugar just highlights that. And then it finishes with just a little woodsiness to it. I don't know, it's this really nice smoothie blend, but there's definitely this scuffling leaves in the woods finish to it. And it's nice. And she takes a sip and just sinks into her seat, lifts up, pulls a book out, puts it on the table. And she makes a little gesture, and a hand appears and picks up the teacup and saucer, and it floats up the stairway. So, I'm still curious. So you've come for Ion with this evil dagger. It's very intriguing.
It's safe to say in this ensemble, she's quite impressive, yes?
Oh, yeah.
And from upstairs, suddenly you hear, Al,
Like a librarian.
what the hell? Why is there cream in my tea? It's the first thing she thinks about because mage hand, right?
Yeah. I see she's gotten her tea.
Yes. I forgot no cream for her. She's quite specific.
I'll send another then. And she says loudly, you can hear her, Ronvin. And so the hand comes back down, and no cream, she sends it up. So, she is very down to earth, pleasant. She did pick a little bit at those who follow a deity. More. It was more poking fun than pure condescension for Jilly.
I totally I get it because it's me. That's like,
Yeah.
Jesus, that's why I get it. Oh God, Al's young and he's stupid, and this is a
Are we
pretty
making wedding
impressive
arrangements
wizard.
already?
I just impulsively in character, he should just absolutely do something stupid. This is a pretty woman who's very intimidating. I'm intimidating, like me. Married, I'm like, oh, God, I don't know what to do here. Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
this
he,
is
he might
Virgilia's
be
gonna
does
sit
something
back and
to impress her, right?
I mean, yeah, but that's gonna go horribly.
Yeah,
She's not.
that's
She
the
will
whole
not be.
point.
She will not be impressed. um, you said she pulled a book out, yeah?
Yeah, was sitting on it. It was on the chair she sat down in. It's just a random book.
Okay.
So what?
Um,
So this dagger, I will say that if someone or something or somehow you were sent here, brought here, found yourselves here, here is not a bad place to deposit or return such an item.
here is in this library, or here is in this
Oh.
land.
Here is in the mountain. Yes. An item such as what you've described could easily either have a home here or have come from a home here. Would fit right in.
If we were to return this to its home, what is to say that it stays safe?
If I had to guess, this item you have was probably found somewhere in the mountain somewhere, and either lost or its bearer was killed and it was taken. And you say it makes the bearer crazy, angry, violent even, I believe you said. Is that correct?
yes.
Well, you don't seem
And Virgilia's
crazy.
pretending to sip her tea.
You don't seem crazy or angry, and I've not seen any violence from you. So this must...
We have it stashed in a safe place.
Oh, you don't...
It would be idiotic to carry it with us everywhere we went.
Oh. Yes and no, depending on where you're
Reckless, even.
storing it. Oh, this is too good. It wouldn't surprise me if it came from here, whether it was bought, sold, traded, stolen, lost, taken from a corpse. Perhaps it willed itself, depending on the item, but it sounds intriguing.
You say willed itself?
There are such things. I can't
What
say
do
so.
we
we
need
gotta
Ion for?
Well, that's where I'm
Question.
puzzled. I just can't figure for anything. I think someone probably... He's such an enigma to most people here. I mean, I figured him out the minute I met him, but he's a private fellow. He's known by people who would know people like him. He deals in very rare, curious things. Most people here just think he's an aloof, eccentric tiger man. And he is. But he's so much more.
What do you mean he's so much more?
He's Rakshasa. He's
what?
he's infernal to his core. He's of the lower planes. He surely does business
Oh,
there
is he?
all the time. So an item such as you've described could very easily have come to him, come through him, come from him. You know, he does buy and sell curios and curiosities, and so he would be the most likely person in the Enclave to see about such an item. But how, coming from a world other than our own, might you have determined that? That's what I'm most interested in. You see,
Somebody mentioned his name when we got here.
I like lore and mysteries and things that are unknown. I like to know them. And you seem to be quite full of mystery to me. So, have you told others about this item? How would they have come to suggest that you meet with Ion Aver?
That is an excellent question.
It is, isn't it? And do you like your tea? Isn't it just calming? Al, you feel just
It smells
absolutely...
delightful.
You feel absolutely comfortable. So do you, Ronvin, if you've drank your tea. You just feel... If your mind has been doing any racing at all, it has stopped. But it is not Benadryl calm. You are 100% dialed in with all of your faculties. Crisp as crisp gets. Fully caffeinated with none of the zoom. Total chill. Not affected with an A. It's awesome tea.
Right now, I feel like the crash is going to be awful.
Are you here to sell this item?
Most definitely not. It is believed that anybody who would bid on such a thing would not have its best uses in mind. We seek something to either destroy it or someone selfless enough to protect it from those who would see it do evil.
Well said, Al.
Right?
See, all items have purpose. I think sometimes we tend to assign a value to that purpose. A person like Ion would see the value in the item, and he's a go-between, a broker. Yes, he's the one to see. I do not want such an item
Well,
anywhere near me for any length of time, although I think it would be safe enough right here on this table if none of us sat with it and meditated on it and focused upon it. And I would almost bet that stack of books right there that it would take some time for the effects to really wear upon the bearer fully. How is it that you came upon this item? I'm curious, what is the tale?
all right. So there's all kinds of alarms going off in Fragili's head.
Agreed.
She totally wants to incite this chick to see if she's trying to bamboozle Al, who looks like he's a little smitten and scared at the same time.
Okay.
Both true.
Fragile, you're reading the tea leaves really well, like no pun intended, sort of. Go ahead and roll your insight.
My insight is a 13.
Okay. You get this sense of self-belief, confidence, absolute burning curiosity. Like she's making no attempt to hide her curiosity about you or about any element of your story. And she is absolutely zeroed in on how the hell did you know to come looking for Ion with this item? That's the part she can't. That's what you see her, that's what you get a sense with that roll. Yeah.
Can I do just to try and remember, because I don't know if the DM knows, but I don't, who we heard it from? Who gave us the name of Ion?
I believe it was your sage who sent you here. Said to seek him out in the enclave. Rontides.
I want to tell her that I think I heard it from. Oh my gosh, who was the guy that we rescued?
Galeth
Galen?
No. Yes.
from the spiders.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty certain that the guy we rescued when we popped in here, his name was like Alith or Aleph or something like
Who
that.
did you rescued someone
Elfie dude.
from what? How? What? Tell me more about that.
Spiders.
Oh, I see.
Spiders.
Yes, there are so many spiders. Oh, oh, she kind of shivers. An elf, you say? Was he of the Enclave?
He led us back here.
Okay. Okay.
Kind of grateful for us helping him out type
Well,
thing.
wouldn't you be? Probably
Oh yeah, yeah.
one of our Gore's boys, the Chipped Axe gang. That'd be my guess. One of the mercenaries, protectors of the Enclave. If I don't miss my guess, did you say Galeth?
Maybe there was a G in there. I thought it was like Aleph.
It was Galeth. Yes. You probably found him well across Shadowreach from here, didn't you? Probably
I don't know what well across is.
most of a day's march, if memory serves. Who watches what and the like. Yes, that's Galeth.
Well, you've got a pretty good knowledge of all the goings on, don't you?
She kind of looks around at all the books. The fact that you're sitting in a library talking to a wizard. Smiles. Yes, I do. And a quick shout out, by the way, long overdue, to my friend Jay Lord Gazumba. Thank you for the sub. 6 months in a row. That's awesome. Thanks for the support. And welcome to Zaboam. Zaboam. I don't know. Welcome. Thanks for the follow. So, well, I think your best bet is to definitely see Ion. The problem is catching him here. He's in and out, and there's no, he doesn't have shop hours like the rest of the people in the bazaar. But you'll find him, and you'll know when he's here. He has that onion sort of arrangement about his stand.
Would you recommend us doing business with Ion? You, despite what we know, and despite all the reservations that people have given us, you of all people seem quite easy at the idea.
What do you mean exactly?
It's we have heard that in exchange, he is a man who makes a great deal. In my experience, people who have known to make exceptional deals, maybe perhaps do not make them fairly.
Ion
Good point.
Ion is in this game for Ion's gain. So, when dealing with a creature such as he, you must be in it for your gain. He easily takes advantage of fools. And because of his business, he suffers them very, very pleasantly and very politely. He's in it for the long game. Yes, that's what it is. He is utterly infernal, and he makes no attempt to hide or cover up such things, but he's not evil for the purpose of harming and chaos, and he's never caused a problem here. He's welcome here. Some people may trust him more than others, but for instance, he and the halfling Jace, fast friends right from the start. Close, good friends. Always have been. It's really quite astonishing if you think about it. Have you met Jace yet?
Not yet.
She has the
Okay.
Al did. She has the other curio shop, the other
Ah,
relics and items and things, and she's a lovely, lovely child. Yes. Well, she's not a child. She's just short. Sweet, sweet thing. Handles herself very, very well with a dagger. Very, very smart. So you need not fear Ion. You just need to understand what you're dealing with.
I want to look at Fragile like it just God.
She's just gonna just like smirk at you, like,
And just parry away everything I have, and like I literally don't know what to do.
well,
Um,
what since she really doesn't know a whole lot that can help us with their dagger situation. You came looking for information on Violet Falls, didn't you?
yeah. Um, if we could steer away from Ion, it seems that he is a good place to go. We still have the question of Violet Falls, its
Yes, yes,
fate,
of
and the
course.
fate of its people.
Yes, of course. I am envious that you may have the opportunity to go see if the ruins, if the settlement exists, if the gnomes live. You must, if you go, you must come back and tell me what you found. It's a mining settlement. That it's the most wonderful sounding place. There are a couple of waterfalls that empty into the cavern, and there's a number of caverns off of the main one. But and the way the violet light, there's this luminous moss that's on the walls and lichens. It's been described by some of the refugees. It just sounds like the most wondrous place. But all contact just abruptly ceased when the Grendel route came. Supposedly, the gnomes of Violet Falls, they mine. There are some alchemists.